I'm your green lady. We interrupt your programming to bring you the real deal on life. My name's Wendy. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We are on the last track, the 5th video out of 5 videos on how to boost your immune system. Today, we're kind of like bringing the full circle around. We started out with sea moss and we're finishing with shakes and juicing. So as promised, there were 4 different giveaways during the week for other videos. 3 that had to do with this series, that you had to watch this 5 series of videos, and 1 other one that was just kind of hanging out there. And I'll put in the description when this one is going to be drawn, and I'll also put it on my social media, on my Instagram and on my Facebook, and I will also put when the other one is going to be given away. So stay tuned to the end to find out what the giveaway is that's associated with today. So I kind of apologize for the camera angle. I wanted to angle the camera so that you could see what I was doing down here, because today it's all about the action and the activity. So I already showed you guys how to make sea moss. If you didn't remember, here's a quick recap. Using the water that I got from the spring in the video from yesterday. Just take the sea moss, you add it with the water. I also like to mix my sea moss with the turmeric that I'm going to put inside my shakes, just because it gets a little, if there's too much going on in there, the turmeric doesn't break up properly. Turmeric is an amazing anti-inflammatory. You can put it on your skin. It's just one of those things. You can put it in your food to color it. I know that I haven't used sazon or adobo in a long time, and as a Hispanic, as a Puerto Rican female, a lot of people are like, what do you use? Honestly, turmeric is like a lifesaver. That and some paprika, some annatto seed that will color your food up. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. So I like to put those 2 in here and mix them up just because it mixes a lot better that way. All right, so now I take a lot of my favorites. I always have to go along with whatever's in the store and what's available. You never know. I don't live in a tropical climate, so I'm sure some of you guys, depending on where you live, have a lot more. So I do use some frozen foods. Not only do they keep their nutrients, but it is easier to find them sometimes when they're off season, as well as for a better price when they're frozen. So in here I have some peaches, some pineapples, some strawberries, some goodies. So to that, I'm going to add a banana, maybe like half a banana, because we've got a lot of ingredients going on here. Grapes, I love grapes as a sweetener. Blueberries, great antioxidant, and I love blueberries. I do get frozen ones. I like to put greens in my shakes because the green is what is life. So here I have some broccoli and some kale. And whenever I see that maybe my oranges aren't gonna get eaten, I like to just freeze them, save them, and use them in a shake. And then last but not least, I harvested some aloe from an aloe leaf. So let's see what's the best way to get this puppy out. So that's kind of like a big guy, but this stuff is so good for you. Stick it right in there. It doesn't have much flavor when everything has been mixed in, so throw it in the pot, chop in the pot. All right, a little bit more water. I personally, when I'm doing these shakes, I like to put a couple of ingredients that are gonna bring out the sweetness of the natural fruit without me having to put any kind of sugar or artificial sugar in there. So I like to put some cinnamon and clove. Between the cinnamon and the clove, it just kind of, it makes it taste like there's a sweetness in it, but there's not. So that being said, let's blitz it up. Oh, obviously forgot the goods, the sea moss and all that good stuff. Ooh. Be super, 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 super careful whenever dealing with the turmeric. I forgot to mention to you guys, it stains. It will stain your countertops if you have lighter countertops. It will stain your sink if you leave, you know, dishes in the sink and just kind of let it run. Even if you leave it for a couple minutes. I mean, I have one of those countertops that is like things get lost. But if you have a light one, just be really careful. I like to make sure it's nice and blitzed up. This shake, like the last one I've spoken for, my husband's been waiting. So I'll make sure he gets that. Now, let's move on to the juice. Okay, so, actually, I'll take one myself. Those are a couple quick ideas on things you can add to a shake. You can add whatever you want in there. I mean, I like to get some of the stuff that we can't necessarily get fresh here in the stores in Connecticut. Papaya, like when I can't find papaya at the store, or tamarind. Oh my God, I go crazy over tamarind. Or I usually like to get some soursop. They didn't have any at the store. Jackfruit, again, with the times, everything that's going on, it was hard to find any at the store. But such as like, you do what you can with what you have. So, moving on to the juice. So, some of the things that we're gonna be juicing today are things that you're gonna have in your house, but I think the powerhouse when I talk about juicing is this ginger and this turmeric. It just does something to the drink, the beverage, that you're just gonna have to see it. Okay, just give me 1 second. We're gonna start off with the cucumbers. I like to start off with everything else that I'm gonna do first, and then I do the ginger and the turmeric last, just because it's so strong in flavor and it can be spicy. And if the boys are gonna have it, I don't want their taste buds to be swayed by the spiciness of it. So I'll juice it on the side and then I'll add it to the rest of the shakes. But other than that, let's have a juicing party. Dealing with the juicer is that you have to clean it out frequently, because the little sieve that strains the material, it gets a pith on it, and if you don't clean it out frequently enough, it'll be a problem. Alright. Next up is some cantaloupe, also a favorite. So another tip when juicing, I cut these pieces a little bit too small, but if you can see, if you cut them too small, you kind of want to leave them in chunkier pieces, just because if you cut them too small, they get right underneath that area, and they don't even get, you know, there's juicing, there can be a lot of waste anyways. So that was the honeydew. Now I think we're gonna do some apples, because apples are my husband's favorite. He loves them. All right, next up, carrots. Last but not least, we're gonna do the celery. Let's juice. Look at all that juice. All right, now, for the separate one, this one is where we're gonna do the turmeric and the ginger. So I do the turmeric dead last, again, just because, okay, so just to give you an idea, this is how the sieve looks when it's got the celery. It's fibrous, but not as bad as the ginger. The ginger is so fibrous. And I mean, this is really important just because nobody kind of tells you this. Like, the juicing game is like something you learn as you go. But I didn't know when I first got it, and I was putting a ton of ginger in there and I didn't realize, and it actually, what it does is it pushes this piece up, and the whole, it's just dangerous. It's dangerous. You don't want to experience it. Let me just tell you. Ginger. Okay, so I stopped so soon because I wanted to show you guys the difference. Okay, perfect. So just with that little bit of ginger that I just put in, look at the buildup. Like, can you see that? That is just like crazy. That is way too much. Anyway, that's kind of why it takes a lot of ginger to get a little bit of juice. It's a very fibrous material. And actually what I usually do for that is I'll save it and I'll mix it with some hibiscus leaf or sorrel, as some people call it. And I will just, and I always get the organic turmeric. There's a big difference. I mean, you can see it at the store in size. If something that's that big, it just doesn't look natural, and the one that's organic is just, the way that it smells, it's much more pungent. Always get organic ginger for sure. Okay, so last but not least, we're gonna do the turmeric. Like I said, very staining, so I don't wanna get any of that stain. I've washed it, and it's ready to go. I actually take this straight to the garbage. I don't put it in my sink because it will stain your sink and your other dishes. So I actually use the knife to scrape it out into the garbage can because I don't want my fingers to get all, even though they'll get a little orange. They always get a little bit orange. I guess that's how I know I'm using the good stuff, right? Also, when you buy turmeric, if you're going to be using it for like a salad or any kind of, I actually got this advice from somebody that I met while I was at the grocery store buying turmeric, and she said that the smaller ones are actually much more pungent in flavor. So, got our juice right here, which is all the others. Call this one all the others. And we'll call this one spicy and nicey. All right, a little here. Look at that color. I just need just like a little bit of that. It's got a kick with the ginger, and I just be wise to have a straw, because as it will stain your clothes, your fingers, the turmeric will also stain your teeth. You guys, there you have it. My shakes, my tricks, my tips on how I keep my immune system tip-top during this time of need. It's always important to keep your immune system up. Let's face it, there's always going to be some germ or bacteria going on. So these are just tricks and tips that you should integrate into your everyday life. So, as promised, we have the last giveaway, which is this adorable Himalayan salt lamp. The Himalayan salt lamps are amazing. I won't go into detail about them today. I'm gonna make another video about them, so we'll go into more detail when that happens. But this is the giveaway, and the way that you enter is the way you have to enter all of them. In order to enter the giveaways, you have to comment on every video. So all the 5 videos that were part of this immune boosting, it's not a trilogy if it's 5, but the 5 videos that were part of that series, you have to hashtag the Infinity Immunity and subscribe, like, and the sharing is optional, but it does help the channel. Thank you so much for spending this week with me. I know it was a little drawn out, but we've all been going through a lot of things, and I just really, really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And until next time, stay beautiful, stay kind, and let your big slide slide. Bye.